We're sitting down with Askari Metals Managing Director Gino D'Anna. Askari Metals is a minerals explorer with a portfolio of projects searching for lithium, copper and gold. Gino, thanks for sitting down with us. Can you describe Askari Metals to the audience?
Jonathan, thanks very much for hosting me. So Askari Metals is a junior exploration company. We're listed on the ASX, AS2 is our ticker code. We're listed in July 21 with a portfolio of copper and gold assets, and subsequent to our listing we acquired a portfolio of lithium projects in the eastern Pilbara, located amongst most of the major plays in that region, and significantly a lot of exploration interest has been demonstrated in that particular region, which drew us to the area.
What sets Askari Metals apart from its competitors?
I'd like to think that what sets Askari apart from its competitors is really the fact that we have got a very aggressive exploration mandate. The company is very active on all of its projects. We tend to be very agnostic in terms of what projects we do focus on across the commodity mix that we've got within the company. You would have noticed most recently we've expanded our lithium positioning and our exposure, and we've taken on a project in Namibia, Africa as well. The idea behind Askari and what differentiates us is just the pace at which we move.
Askari recently landed on Chinese lithium heavyweight, and excuse my pronunciation, Zheijang Kanglongda's radar. How did that come about?
So we've been discussing with them for some time now and trying to educate them with respect to the company and how we're moving into the lithium sector more aggressively. Our first entry into the lithium sector, and as far as exploration was concerned, was at the Burracoppin project in the Northern Territory. We then acquired a portfolio of assets in the Eastern Pilbara, and that's really what drew the attention of ZK.
Now, as you just mentioned, the company also acquired last month a lithium project in Africa. What was the impetus behind that acquisition?
There we see a tremendous opportunity to buy a project that demonstrates all the hallmarks of being very easily developed. It's in an area which is significantly serviced with all the necessary infrastructure. You've got the Afritian Us mine right next door to us, less than 2.5 kilometres away. And I've been to several lithium projects and mines, and it's not too often which you go to work up to historic working and see significant amounts of altered spodumene sitting within the walls or within the floor of the old working.
Earlier this year, Morgan Stanley forecast a looming lithium surplus, which could see prices lower. But at the same time, Pilbara Minerals continues to see record prices for its spodumene auctions. Where do you see lithium prices going in the years ahead?
I do tend to agree perhaps that we're going to see a bit of a cooling off with respect to spodcon prices, and it's naturally that it should be the case as well. I mean, of course, when you get to a pricing sort of dynamic as what we're seeing at the moment, that's when substitution starts to really come into play. I think that what will end up by happening there is we'll get perhaps a softening, maybe 20 to 25% in the spodcon price. But overall, the margins for the miners are going to be still tremendous. I mean, as you've mentioned with PLS, reaching $7,000 a tonne for a spodcon is unprecedented movements.
Okay, now let's turn to gold. The company is currently updating its 3D models for the Burracoppin gold project. What will the next stage of drilling look like?
So as you've said, we're going through and we're updating the 3D model for Burracoppin, which will include the Phase 3 RC drilling. The next step for Burracoppin really is the delineation of its maiden JORC resource. That'll look to sort of bring into play the previous 3 phases of drilling that have been conducted by the company, and it'll look to tie everything together into a shallow oxide resource. There is a 4th phase of drilling which is also planned at Burracoppin, and that'll test some of the southern mineralisation just south of Lone Tree, where we've had some fairly tremendous high-grade near-surface hits as well.
Looking to copper and cobalt, Askari announced last month, a soil auger drilling program at the Callawa project. What's next there on site?
Yeah, Callawa is a really interesting one, mostly because initially it was acquired for its copper potential, structurally controlled. And so the idea behind the high resolution magnetic survey was just to demonstrate those structural controls on the actual mineralisation itself. But what it did demonstrate is, as you've mentioned, a very anomalous, highly anomalous, I should say, results for cobalt, chromium and nickel as well. So the company's going to do some further investigation work with respect to those particular areas and looking at the mag structures that have been hosted. And the idea behind the soil auger campaign will just to give higher accuracy exploration targets where we can then do an RC drilling campaign at Callawa.
Gino, out of all of Askari's projects, which development are you personally most excited about as we head into 2023?
Personally, most excited about the opportunity in Namibia. And the main reason for that is, as I mentioned before, it's an area which is very easily explored. The pegmatites are very well mapped, as to is the mineralisation. We've got a 3,000 metre RC drilling campaign starting middle of November this month. Those results will very, very quickly demonstrate the upside potential and the resource potential of the project area as well. In addition to that, the company is also actively pursuing a number of other additional opportunities in Namibia as well, along strike and next door to our existing acquisition.
All right, we just touched on what comes between now and Christmas, so I'll ask, where do you see Askari in the second half of 2023?
So second half of 2023, I would imagine that by that stage, the full strategy of what the company is looking to achieve in Namibia would have played out more fruitfully, together with the lithium exploration that we're kickstarting, in particular at Murness Hill this coming month in the Eastern Pilbara. The idea behind those exploration campaigns, it'll actually start to demonstrate the company's desire to be exposed solely to the lithium sector, and we'll see the company also look at demerging or spinning off its copper-gold rare earths projects in Australia.
All right, for our last question, and bear with me, I'm going to ask you to read the future. Where do you see the company in 2025?
So 2025, that is a little bit of a longer forecast, and so I'll have to sort of put everything into everything working out, of course, so beyond market factors.
I apologise for the question.
But no doubt what I would imagine for Askari by 2025 will be in a position where we would have delineated a JORC resource on the lithium side, the spin-up would have taken place and the separate company would have been running very actively on the copper and gold projects. For Askari, exposed to the lithium, having a JORC resource, having the met work done, having, I would say, by 2025, a pre-feasibility study done as well, we'd be looking to partner up and take our projects through to the next stage.
We'll be watching closely. Askari Metals Managing Director, Gino D'Anna. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much as well.